Good evening, everyone. I am Sanjay Mukherjee. I am a consulting partner in IPQC Consulting. I am a project manager basically with 36 years of experience. I did my graduation from IIT Roorkee and MBA from IIM Bangalore. Actually, I have spent my career in a variety of projects involving different domain areas, thermal power, aerospace, to name a few. And each of these domain areas have actually put up its own peculiar challenges, which are not there in the textbooks. People generally find theoretical concepts in the textbooks, but to what extent this theory is actually applied in the real life situation and how the real life problems get resolved is an interesting case study, which actually I would like to cover through this workshop. So this workshop basically is not a lecture in the traditional sense, but it is an interactive platform where students, both fresh as well as experienced professionals, can put across their questions for me to answer. Of course, I will try to answer all your questions in the workshop best possible way possible based on my experience. Now, no matter how much of digitization is there in different fields, including construction, but the project manager has a very unique role to play. I mean, no robot can actually replace the project manager. This is because of the fact that every project is unique in character. No two projects are the same. And even if the project is similar, because of, maybe the geographical location or the climatic conditions, it can pose different type of challenges. Like a thermal power plant being constructed in Japan and in India, it can pose different challenges, right? So what are the challenges which such projects face and how to overcome them? The workshop is about this. This workshop is also good for students who are appearing for various interviews and also certification exams, like the PMP exam, which is a project management certification exam. Secondly, even without examination, professionals may use this workshop and the knowledge gained for their own benefit as far as getting promotions or superior positions in their existing organizations, or for giving interviews for changing their job or job profile. So with this, I have a few slides with me, which describes in short the importance of this course, the takeaway from this course, what are the contents, and what are the challenges facing India, and in that context, how this course will be beneficial. So moving forward, first to give a a description of what the project is. Okay. Now, in the project, resources play a very important part. And the resources mainly are men, material, and financial. Okay, financial resources are required basically for the other two. And another one you can add on is the equipment. Now, these resources come together in a unique fashion for undertaking a project, and the project actually has got certain targets in terms of time, in terms of cost, and in terms of quality. These are the three pillars of the project, right? So we have to get to the project objective. We have to bring a beneficial change by using these resources, and we have to complete the project scope, right? So here it is very well defined, through this diagram: scope, purpose, then you have got the project organization, and you have to maintain these three pillars: time, cost, and quality. Now, often what happens is that if I press the time too much, then quality might suffer, right? So, or compress the time too much, you spend up more. Workshop, right? How crashing helps the project. Now, moving forward, a project manager actually executes the project. He takes the help of resources. He is the key person around which the project revolves. Okay. So first is the start of the project takes place with the project manager explaining the project to his team members. Then he plans the project. He asks for the resource from the stakeholders, and he examines the documents. He examines what is required of the project. He maintains, he establishes the channel of communication, and then the project starts, with the project manager distributing the work to all the team members. Now, I will be speaking on this workshop primarily from the perspective of infra project, okay, infra EP project, which is very large in terms of value and complexity. Now, the challenge areas are project strategy. Project strategy plays a very important role because to take an example, I was in a company called Jaiprakash, much a leader in the field of construction. So when they undertook the JP Wish Town project in Noida, they wanted to do everything themselves. They were very confident, sort of overconfident. Now the result was that a project which had to be completed in 4 years got completed in more than 12 years, and still it's going on. What was the mistake? Overconfidence as regards the scope. Jaiprakash Group had estimated that they would be able to complete the project with their resources available with them. But that much of resources was not there to complete it in 4 years. So they should have outsourced some parcels of the project to other companies like Godrej, Shapoorji Pallonji, L&T. So many players are there, such that the buyers of those flats in JP Wish Town would not have gone to Supreme Court. The project would not have gone into litigation. So adopting the correct project strategy at a proper time is most essential. It builds your project or it mars your project. Okay. So this is most important. Second, project planning and monitoring. Now, in many of the contractors, they don't lay emphasis at all on project planning. Once they get the project, they just start in an ad hoc fashion. Now, if you don't have a project plan, what happens? More delays. So I will come to a delay slide, given by the government of India, how much the projects are delayed. Because resources are not properly. The forklift is there, but forklift operator is not there. The forklift and the forklift operator is there, but funds are not available for you to do the work. These things are not taught in textbooks. These things are actually my experience. So you have to do proper daily, monthly resource planning. And to make a project plan. Without plan, it is like searching for a needle in the woods, or a needle in the haystack. And you are just wandering without a definite aim or objective. Okay, so project planning and monitoring is never given its importance. This can be done if you attend some workshops on project management, where they will teach you project planning, how to do a project plan, what important role it plays. Okay, now you will be surprised to know that all international clients, they expect the project plan to be submitted in a specific following week software package like Primavera or MS Project. If you are not able to submit, then you are disqualified from the project. So all international consulting houses, be it Lurgi, be it Bechtel, be it Tata Consulting Engineers, they are all working on project plan. But other contractors, stage 2, stage 3 contractors, local contractors, they don't get their engineers trained in these areas. So they lack the knowledge. And there is a gap in knowledge and understanding of the situation in the project, resulting in project delay. Contracts management, very important role, because most of the EPC contracts management are very complex in nature. It involves a lot of contractual conditions which has to be followed by the contractor and the engineer. So understanding of the contractual is a prerequisite of becoming a project manager. Otherwise, people will take the project manager for a ride. Okay, he will not be able to claim for the work which he has done, or he will not be able to raise his voice for activities which have been wrongly imposed on him by the employer. Knowledge on contracts management. What is the contracts management process followed in EPC organization? Implementation and erection. So what are the problems in implementation? How labor contractors have to be mobilized. Often I have seen big contractors like BHEL mobilizing the erection contractors very late, sitting on the activity and doing some firefighting. Now this firefighting sometimes, in project parlance, is called student syndrome. Student syndrome, why? Because, we also become a student while tackling an activity in the project, an activity which is to be performed maybe 1 or 2 months hence. We only take up then, maybe 2 days before the scheduled completion of that activity, not before that. Okay, so that is the student syndrome. Students while away their time, and when the exam approaches, they only study, right? Resource availability. I was just telling you the example of the forklift operator. So resources have to be bought when required. I tell you, you must have seen in any construction big tower cranes. Okay, and these tower cranes, the rental for these cranes are in lakhs. So you should basically erect that tower crane and bring it to site when it is required, when that height is required. Not before that. You are wasting your resources, right? So resource availability at the point of time it is required is of great importance. Now finally is the material. Now materials requirement has to be matched with the erection schedule. If you are not an alert project manager, then the contractor will try to push in high value materials in a non-sequential manner at site. So as a are not vigilant, then you end up spending for erection or for material which is not required now, which is required 2 years hence. Now, let me tell you one example. When I was working Prayagraj Power, I was sent to Trichy, BHEL Trichy, by my boss. So he told me that please go and check up this at the manufacturing works. My goodness, when I go to Trichy, I find that the ceiling girder, which was to come up after 1 year, that is getting constructed in a very urgent fashion. Why? Because BHEL wants to build this ceiling girder in that financial year, right? But it is a total loss for a company like Jaiprakash of taking that ceiling girder, right? Because that will come at erection will come at the end, right? So I had stopped it. And if you are not vigilant on these grounds, if you don't attend a course, of the nature, or you will not be able to anticipate. So here today we will have more focus on the manpower aspect, because basically our intention of this is to train the manpower in project management so that they are able to meet the objectives of the project and also earn a profit out of it. Because after all, everybody is there for profit. Okay, so it is not mandatory to complete the project. We have to be smart. We have to complete the project, no doubt, but we have to get a profit out of it. Now, in materials, the challenges are vendor selection. A good vendor can be a very big asset to the project. Based on that, the project can be completed on time. So vendor selection is important. Vendor management, including manufacturing, very important. One aspect of this is expediting. It is not sufficient for you just to release the order on the vendor and sit tight, thinking that the vendor by himself will supply. No, that vendor is loaded with many projects. He has projects from JP, and he also takes up projects from Adani, from Reliance, from many other companies. So his hands are tight. You have to work for your project. You have to depute people to expedite. In his manufacturing plan, your project becomes a priority, right? Expedite of materials as per sequence. Logistics and dispatch to site. Often logistics is considered a very unimportant activity. But mind you, if it is a turbine, which is around 300, 400 tons in weight, logistics of turbine, of transporting turbine from the manufacturing base point to the site is itself a project. You have to have special trailers. You have to take approval from railway officials, from highway officials. It is a ODC consignment. So many things are involved. Availability of lifting equipment, tools and tackles. I told you about the tower crane, about the implication when you should actually order for it. There should not be a time gap. No asset should be kept idle. Okay, asset whenever taken on rent should be fully utilized. Now, manpower, coming to manpower. Now, manpower, as far as this area is concerned, I have seen that there are many civil engineers available at site, or civil engineers also graduate, but they don't have adequate knowledge of project management. In short, they are not industry ready. Now, industry does not have the time to train you up. Of course, if you join L&T, they have an institute, and I was a part of it. So they give specific training in project management, but that is only one or two companies. So many other companies are downstream, which are manufacturing. They can be subcontractors, but they don't give you any additional training. You are expected to join, contribute, and learn on the job. But learning on the job is not a systematic learning. If you want systematic learning, you have to take a course in construction management, and this workshop to some extent fulfills this need. Okay, it is not an exhaustive workshop, but it will touch upon all the areas, and whichever area interests you. Suppose you are in the purchase department, so you know overall how the purchase department in a project functions. Now, if you want to have more knowledge, you can explore on your own. So this is a trigger point for you. Now, as per a recent survey, project managers are short to the tune of 58%. Okay, so you have civil engineers, but you don't have good project managers. Okay, so we need to build upon the project management aspect by training more project managers. Now, the government also these days is actually concerned about the poor implementation of infra project. This budget also has got a provision of about 7.5 lakh crore for infrastructure sector. But how much of it is getting utilized, year by year? That is a question to be asked. How much of it is getting utilized in the proper fashion without any wastage, with optimal utilization of resources? That also is very challenging task. Now, keeping this in view, the government has come out with some guidelines. So here in the NITI Aayog Task Force report in June 2019, it has actually mandated that contracting firms involved in project construction have qualified, certified project management professionals. It means that in future, contracts will not be awarded to contractors who don't have certified professionals. You have to acquire the knowledge and get yourself certified, and then only you will be able to work on the project. This is to bring in a degree of quality in project management of large infrastructure works executed by the government agencies. After all, government executes by its own large portion of the infrastructure works, right? Now, this is a slide from the Ministry of Statistics, and they have actually brought out a report in August 2021 about 171 central infrastructure projects, and 560 of the projects have reported a delay, quite a large number, right? So if you see this figure, ahead schedule, on schedule, only 275. No proper date of commissioning, 871. Delayed, 560. Okay, now you see the cost part. So here, projects with cost overrun, 470. Both time and cost overrun, 214. So these numbers are in hundreds. How it has the cost has increased, okay, across projects. So this is a very dismal piece of statistic which needs to be improved, and can be done if you have the proper tools to improve your performance. Okay, so for need training. What are the challenges over large parts of my experience? these points I have jotted down. According to me, first is insufficient knowledge of planning and monitoring techniques. People are still stuck with only bar chart, but bar chart is of no use. It cannot be updated in real time. It does not have the relationships. Okay, so this is bar chart has got very limited use. So you can only know of CPM or how to update a CPM network in some software package by attending workshops and seminars. Second is understanding the scope of the project. Okay, so often engineers, they misinterpret the scope. When they start the work, they think that the scope is only 50. But actually, midway through the work, they find that no, there are other elements also. This is because they are inexperienced. They don't have proper training in project management. Okay, where to question? You can question the client. If the client's specification or scope of work is ambiguous, you can question him. But on what points he has to be questioned? Okay, the questions also should be intelligent enough. For that, these workshops help you in updating your knowledge. Settlement of claims. Now, in many of the cases, what happens is that the employer, since he is in a very superior position, he tries to, bulldoze the contractor always. Okay, and tries to various damages and things. This is because the contractor also does not know his right, and he will only know his rights and obligations if he goes through a course, if he interacts with his peers. Okay, if he questions, then he can raise the claims. Now, let me take an example. Let's say that you have started, you are starting work on the project, and your employer, be it NTPC or BHEL, whosoever he is, he's supposed to give you land, but he delays in giving the land, okay, in the first place. So after that only your work starts. But when your work is going to be completed, he levies LD. Now, what mistake you have done? When he was giving the land, you should have put in a claim that I want extension of time without levy of LD. Correct? You have not done that. So these things cannot be discussed in a theoretical classroom. You have to sit with an expert and who has faced such problems and discuss the same, right? Formulating proper strategy. I was just telling you about Jaiprakash Group. I will tell you one success story also. Now, nowadays, you are having the Ukraine-Russia war. But there was a time when USSR was there. Ukraine was a part of USSR. And suddenly, USSR got disintegrated. Okay, in the early 1990s, Gorbachev was there. Now, much earlier, as we know, Russians were pioneers in certain defense technologies. And one of the technology was the technology of ramjet engine. Okay. Now, how the technology of ramjet engine came to India? Now, Dr. Kalam then was in an important position. He saw the opportunity. Russia is disintegrating. They want money. They are in a position to sell off their vital technology. Thus came the birth of BrahMos. Okay. And in the BrahMos system, the ramjet technology actually gives it the unique supersonic speed of 2.8 Mach. Okay. So Dr. Kalam, built on this strategy. He actually took this opportunity, which presented itself at the right time. Okay, and went in for the BrahMos BrahMos agreement. Now, India is exporting BrahMos missile to Philippines. They have got a $375 million contract. So you have become an arms producer and exporter, right? So to make matters short, proper strategy formulation at correct time is important. Communication with stakeholders. Often tier 2, tier 3 contractors are very shy. They are afraid of the main, of the employer. So their fear comes from lack of knowledge. If you have knowledge, if you build on the contractual knowledge, L&T has built, L&T is above many of the employers. Okay. It's a separate matter. They have not set up any independent power. Okay, but they can do anything. So they student syndrome, postponement. It is there to be pushed to do the work. They don't do the work by themselves. This is the Indian scenario, but it is never the case with Siemens or with any foreign contractor. When they give the time schedule, when they do the work, they work in the time schedule. Okay, not beyond, not before that also, and delay also. Okay, so both ways. Mobilization of resources, non-awareness of tools and techniques leading to project compromised. Okay. So you don't know about how to manage a project using Primavera. Your project manages ad hoc on basis. Whatever work you do, whatever labor is available, you do that much of work. That will not do. That is not a futuristic approach. So these things need to be improved, and that can be improved through this workshop. Now, why study project management? Upgradation of knowledge leads to faster completion of projects. This is well understood. Adoption of state-of-the-art procedures, like critical chain project management. We will discuss state-of-the-art technique. Certification in PM sought after by employers in construction jobs. You see any job board, they want PMP certification or they want certification in project management, which IPQC will give after the workshop. Formulating proper strategy, faster professional growth with promotions to superior positions. If you are able to tell your employer that you have attended such a course, you are updated on certain topics, they might consider you for some superior positions in-house rather than they getting it from outside. Okay. To face job interviews and answer technical questions with confidence and clarity. Remember, in a job interview, there will be practitioners who have worked in project. They will not be professors. So they will only ask you, solution into problems from the field, what they have faced. Okay. And if you are able to impress and answer them, they get through. Focus on overall projects rather than just technical aspects. I agree. There are certain courses on project management taught in engineering colleges. But sad to say that the teachers who are teaching there, they may be good in the technical aspects. To tell you how to best design a structure, but how to fabricate that structure with minimum cost, they will not teach you that much. That is the management perspective of it, which this workshop will cover, because we will cover some optimization techniques where you will get a feel of how resources can be optimized in a project scenario. To face exams like PMP, with confidence. Now, the target audience, of course, is professionals from infra sector. Professionals up to 10 years definitely should attend this workshop, and they can also post their problems, and I will try to solve them. Students of technical backgrounds desirous of updating their knowledge in this area. Mainly, this workshop will be suitable for people of civil, mechanical, electrical, and architecture disciplines. Okay, so it is not so much focused on IT sector. So what is the session plan I'm having? I'm having a very simple session plan. There'll be 12 live sessions, each of 1 hour. And it will be covered in 2 weekends. That is 12 hours in 4 days, basically, right? Maybe Saturday and Sunday. I know construction people are very busy. Even students are busy. But this much of time can be managed to learn a course if they are not very much up to date about it. During weekends, there will be quiz at the end of the session. There will be certificate of participation by IPQC, and 80% of attendance is mandatory. Now the detailed course outline, just for your information, we start with project definition, role of project manager, project organization, session 1. Session 2 is the project scope, how you plan the project, breakdown structure, what is project life cycle. Session 3, how to make a feasibility report. See, any project has to be feasible to get executed or to get itself financed by the financial institutions. So this project feasibility report, there is a way of preparing it. What are the financial analysis which are used, like net present value, NPV? This will be V, a small correction. IRR, internal rate of return. Project strategy, which I was just discussing. Then session 5. They are on construction of networks. Totally project planning, both CPM and PERT. Session 6 involves the unique feature of crashing. How is crashing done? What role crashing plays in expediting a project? And 7 is on project procurement, tendering, because project procurement is about 60%. Session 8 is resource management at project site, how resources are managed, what are the optimization techniques for the resources. Session 9 is PMBOK. You see, we have got the project management standard in the form of project management body of knowledge. So salient features will be given in this session. There are full-scale 30-40 sessions on PMBOK. This we will only give an introduction. Session 10 is what is earned value. How we monitor projects using earned value techniques. Session 11 will give you introduction to software packages, and along with session 12, which will be a tutorial session. So this is overall course outline. Now with this, I invite all of you to join the workshop in large number and to benefit from the knowledge which will be discussed in this workshop. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you for the inputs. Suppose a candidate want to enroll in the program, where to go, which page, where they can enroll? Can you show the address or something, like they can, like the link probably, if you can.
No, actually, you can go to IPQC website, MSME.
Can you share the page, sir, so that people can
online.in. And I will close this.
Yeah, you can close that. Yeah, I'm just showing the page. So people, whoever interested, they can go to the
Yeah.
training. Under this training, there is a program listed here on the training page. Go to this workshop on project management. You can go to this page. You can enroll. Basically, this address is ipqc.in. And under training page, you can directly enroll. So you get a, basically, if you book before 28th, means 28th February, you get a discount of 500 rupees per participant. And there is a bulk discount also there. Like if you enroll in 3 or more people, you get a 10% discount. So this, this is the page. You can register, and you can, if you are interested, please let us know, and we can, basically the registration process can be completed. Okay. So regarding the course, sir, what type of cases you want to discuss in these cases are there, or what type of audience? You already said professionals from MSMEs, construction, and other areas. Majority are construction industry. You are trying to get the people. Your target audience is more of construction industry. Is that from other industries also, can they participate? Can is it like?
Yeah, actually,
how
MSME.
Yeah.
MSME sector, actually, even the tier 2 and tier 3 contractors, they belong to MSME sector only.
Okay.
And even the existing manufacturing contractors, they also go for expansion projects. How they go for, they should have basic knowledge of project management, how projects are executed, how it is done. So even, not only from the core construction area, but also people who are into operations, those who are MSME, they are into operations. They can also attend the course, because MSME also go for expansion. So then it becomes a project. So how to tackle the issues and problems? This workshop will give a good understanding.
Yeah, definitely. MSME is basically many manufacturing companies. Any new product development comes under a project. So they can use this framework for the monitoring the new projects. Basically, majority are part of big OEMs projects, new product development.
Even product development, new product development also is like a project. See, you have to make a prototype. You have to go for market testing. So a lot of stages are there. So a project approach helps always in completing the project on time.
You are going to cover some cases in this in this area.
I'm going to cover. I don't know whether we will have that much of time or not. But certainly we will focus on planning and monitoring, where it will be more exercise based in the form of case only. And there will be some cases where delays have happened, or where management took undue took the time, their own time in completing the project. So cases like that, or some mistakes were made in ordering. So we have cases, and certainly 2 to 3 sessions out of the 12 will be cases only. Experiments.
So there is a question from Tapas, Mr. Tapas. I just will come back to that question. Before that, I just want to know, is there any
Yeah.
numbers like, savings they can exercise, they can see those numbers, like you said, some 560 cases, projects were delayed and there are a lot of costs
Yeah.
associated with that. So
Yeah.
is there any framework for the, to become a vendor for the government agencies, like, to become is there any framework for a railways, for highways, projects, or for many
Yeah.
sectors? Is there
Yeah.
any standard government framework? Can you, or is it possible to cover that type of basic inputs for the people in the workshop? Because you were saying that more of
Yeah.
construction related, yeah, framework for the to become a vendor
Actually,
for it.
the government tenders generally have a certain qualifying requirements.
Uh,
And like in terms of turnover,
yeah,
or in terms of the similar nature of projects which they have executed in the past.
yeah.
So those type of qualifying requirements they are there in government tender. But
Okay.
in private tender, there is such requirement.
Okay.
So the strategy would be to do
Okay.
some similar jobs,
Yeah.
similar value in the private sector. And once you get certificate, then
Okay.
go to government.
Okay.
For government job.
Okay.
Because government job has got some minimum qualifying requirement, right? But
Yeah.
if you are bidding in the private sector, that does not have a qualifying requirement. That depends on what relation you have
Yeah.
with your client,
Yeah.
right? And whether the client is satisfied with you, or sometimes you can give a good discount also on your price to enter the market.
Okay.
So once which bidding for government will be difficult. So it has to be a gradual process.
Okay.
And it cannot be done overnight. That's what I mean to say.
Okay.
So
you
things,
are trying to give a,
will help you.
yeah, you are trying to give an overview of
I'm
the
trying to
project
give
management.
a way out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Tapas sir, is there any question from Mr. Tapas? Is going to ask some question. Please go ahead,
Yeah,
sir. Unmute and ask. Yeah.
Yeah, just two small questions or suggestions. One is, as Sanjay said, this training will be, majorly for infra projects. Specifically, he mentioned, but as it seems,
Yeah.
it is also applicable for various other scenarios like product development and product improvements
Yeah.
and all these things. So maybe if you can mention what
Yeah.
scenarios the project management techniques can be applied.
Yeah.
And the second is
Okay.
that many places, large projects, many government projects or other things, they go out of bound in terms of time. So at times they
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
external experienced people like you, right, to
Yeah.
have a overseeing role, right, so that
Yeah.
everybody is working, they have their own team, but as an advisory you can
Yeah.
just chip in there,
Yeah.
and they pay for that actually during the
Yeah.
project,
They
so that
pay. They pay.
that's
Yes.
what.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So there is
They
one
pay
more.
because
One more question, sir. Is that anything like you spend something on what if scenario, like a different projects, different in the middle of the project you consider different options, like
Yeah.
like availability of labor, availability of alternatives, availability of resources, other resources.
Yeah.
So is that something simulation type also you try to cover in this workshop?
No simulation is covered.
Okay.
Simulation will not be covered. It will. I will be falling short of time. But
Okay.
in a full-scale course, which is done by NICMAR and other agencies, you have a detailed course.
Okay.
Then procurement is 30 sessions.
Okay.
Right, and project planning is also 30 sessions.
Okay.
There we simulate.
Okay.
Actually, the CPA, the part program evaluation review technique we simulate. It can be simulated. All is a probabilistic network.
Okay.
But in this workshop, I will not be covering so much. It will be
probably this you
for
can
the participant also. It will be too complex.
10 hours basically, 12 hours, correct? 12 hours. 12
you can
hours
probably
spreading
mention
over-
those things that okay.
Basically,
this
12
morning-
hours. 12 hours.